Reading any other book before this book is absolutely insane. This forever changed the way I read. It's a deep exploration of how great writing works. It tells you how everything is intentional. Even if they're describing a crack in the road, that is there to manipulate you, to make you subconsciously feel a certain way, or to give you a clue about what's going on. This is the single best English class that you could get in a book. A Swim in the Pond in the Rain by George Saunders.
Oh, B-O-O-K-T-O-K.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm on the truck and you're like this, like over me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have to do that, like recreate that, but like do it in your most romantic, shit.
What's up, baby? Let's talk like this.
Yeah, but
Like that?
yeah, you did.
Okay.
Now you tryna pull up to my crib, I think you really gotta go. I got secrets that nobody knows.
Vancouver books are worth the hype. Yes. Like, not love. My second fave. It was okay. Yes. No. No, cringe. Love. My fave.
Oh my god, they have Heartstopper. Wait, this looks so cute. Oh my god, this book was so good. Oh my god, I keep saying I need to buy this book.
So I just learned that if I sell 6,000 books within the first week of my release date, which this is available tomorrow, then I will have a chance to be on the USA Today's best-selling author list, which I know is a lot, but that's less than half of my followers here on TikTok. And I know TikTok's algorithm sucks lately and only a few hundred people will see this, but I'm giving myself permission to dream big. And being a best-selling author on anything is my main dream. And I know if it doesn't happen with this book or the next or even the next, I'm gonna keep trying and it'll happen someday.
Are my top 5 favorite thrillers that I've read this year. I've read 42 books total, 21 of them have been thrillers, so let's get into it.
A serial killer is finally behind bars, but not everyone is convinced he's guilty. I don't know what she put in this book. It is so addicting. There's even some romance, and you think you know where it's going, but just wait. 3 best friends who sent a killer to prison when they were 11 now have to confront all the secrets they've been keeping. I could not put this book down. It is so well written and layered. It honestly blew me away. A father and his young daughter live in total isolation from the outside world. Honestly, that is all you need to know. This is definitely more suspense than thriller, but I had to include it because it is so good. two friends are driving to a party super late at night when they notice the headlights behind them are definitely following them. I still think about this book all the time because of how stressed out I was while reading it. And finally, a super gritty crime thriller about an unsolved small-town murder of a teenage girl on prom night. I'm telling you, Karen Slaughter can do no wrong, in my opinion. The way she totally immerses you in the mystery is just unreal.
If you want to start getting into reading books and reading them consistently, this video is for you. My first rule is to never read Colleen Hoover books because they're not a form of escapism, they're a form of realism. And that escapism is what makes many books so addictive. And the writing style is oftentimes so simplistic that you will not build the reading level you need to read other types of books. What I see happening a lot nowadays is that new readers will grab a Colleen Hoover book, read it, and then only ever read Colleen Hoover books again. And that's so sad because there's so many different genres and types of books and writing styles out there for you to explore. My second rule is if you're just starting out, to buy popular books on social media. Don't be afraid of being too basic because these books are popular for a reason. They're very good, and the fan bases that have already been established will suck you right in and will make you discover even more books. My third rule is to romanticize reading. Find a cute, comfy outfit and a cute reading spot and post about the books you're reading and really have your main character moment. It'll make reading 10 times more fun and it'll motivate you to read more. My final rule is to binge read. If you have a day off and you read for an hour or two and the book is really good, don't stop. Don't do something else. Don't close that book. Read for 7 hours straight and read that book in one sitting because trust me, there's no better feeling than finishing a book in a day.
There's no God out there and no reason to live. Why are more people not running through the streets screaming in terror? You voted for me to read this next. Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. I've only read the introduction so far, but it might be the best introduction that I've ever read of a book. I'm going to pick my favorite parts and just read them to you as if I'm just telling you, because Ben Marcus does a better job than I ever could. This could be considered the genre of misery lit. It's hard to think of a more miserable book, more purely and relentlessly committed to misery than the book you're holding. Dostoevsky makes a convincing case for the perils of examining our lives too much. You do not need to be a miserable person to enjoy a miserable book. A miserable book can seem more realistic than a cheerful one, and that realism can prove oddly joyful. After all, it is far better than being lied to. Dostoevsky had already been sentenced to death before writing this book. People who have been sentenced to death write differently than people who have not. If there is no God and no reason to live, why are more people not running through the streets screaming in terror? Notes from Underground gives the reader the opportunity to read an author so obsessed with this problem, so obsessed by the pain and apparent futility of existence. By obsessing over a common public occurrence, our narrator goes down a rabbit hole of shame and regret, in which he finds an endless ability to be paralyzed by the slightest injustices. It is a cautionary tale against waking up, a warning not to breathe. Sounds fun. Hey, you picked it. A Little Life. The magnum opus of sadness. This is your fault, TikTok. Fun fact, the cover is actually just a picture of me when I finished reading it. This is the worst, best book I've ever read. It tricks you. It sucks you in with its amazing writing, and then you fall deeply in love with the characters. Malcolm the architect, JB the artist, Willem the actor, and Jude the lawyer. Oh, Judy. 4 young friends living in New York City, broke and trying to make it. What else could you ask for? And then it slowly and methodically begins to devastate you, masterfully ripping your insides out, piece by piece. And when you think it can't get worse, it does. And then when you think you know how it's gonna continue to get worse, it genuinely surprises you. And then you cry and 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 you cry. If you were starting to think that maybe you were a sociopath and not feeling any emotions, well, read this book. And then if you don't shed a tear, well, congrats. Congrats, you've diagnosed yourself. While it made me feel like devastated, it also made me feel like I wanted to live my life more fully and enjoy it. To learn to cook more like Jude, or to be a better person like Willem. Look, it's not an easy book to get through. And if you have trouble with tough stuff, tough subject matter, then this book's not for you. This book doesn't let up. It just doesn't. And so if you can't handle that, here's your warning. Why did she choose to focus on what she focused on? I don't know. Secret History by Donna Tartt. the morbid longing for the picturesque at all costs. When people say dark academia, this is dark. If I could sum up this book in 2 words, it would be paranoia and discomfort. The sounds and smells and senses of paranoia and discomfort. Our narrator, Richard Papin, has just gotten to the Hampton College, where he's trying to get in with this very exclusive group of students who study ancient Greek with this very mysterious and selective professor. Everyone in this class is clearly smarter than everyone else on campus, and he is completely enamored by it at first. But by the first sentence in the book, we know that one of them is gonna and that they conspire to do it. You feel like you're one of the students trying to fit into this group, trying to figure out everyone's next move. What is everyone talking about? What is going on? I'm paranoid as fuck. There's something very unsettling about, like, trying to fit into a new group of friends when they have all their inside jokes, all know each other and have their little secrets, and you're just like, what are we talking about? We're doing weird rituals? What's that about? I believe the book deliberately misleads you. I thought this book was going to an absolutely wild place, and that was part of the disappointment for me. But really it was something much more simple. You're connecting all these dots, trying to imagine what could possibly be going on. There's these red herrings that lead your mind down the wrong direction. Really, it's taking the veil away from these kids who seem so perfect. We see what they're really like, and there's some dark stuff going on. And I love that. Things get so messed up, and it's like, bro, you should just like not have joined this group. You should have just been a regular guy. Things would have been probably much better. But then we wouldn't have had so much fun. It's definitely gonna stick with me. It's one of the top books I've ever read. A good book leaves those questions open for you to think about, to build on, to expand on. So if you haven't already, it is time to read The Secret History.